What's up, guys? This is John Monroe. Thanks for checking out my channel. So I know what you're thinking, right? You're thinking Ram Rebel, Raptor Eater. Nothing's the Raptor Eater. How could a Ram Rebel be the Raptor Eater? What Ram Rebel is he driving? Well, look, the Ram Rebel, I will argue, is a Raptor Eater. Now hold up. Before you jump through the screen and choke me, tell me, what exactly do you use your pickup truck for? Answer that question for me. Now, most of us are probably gonna say, oh, I use my pickup truck to, haul wood. I use my pickup truck to haul my dirt bikes. I use my pickup truck to take my family to church on Sunday, right? These are things you use your pickup truck for. Now, I know, you can't compare the Ram Rebel to the Ford Raptor, right? The Ford Raptor is the kingpin in the class. Nobody messes with the Ford Raptor. The Ford Raptor, though, I'll tell you, it's a beautiful truck. I love it. It's expensive. It's a really, really expensive truck. For the price of a loaded Ford Raptor, you can get a freaking, Maserati for the price of a loaded Ford Raptor. A nice Maserati, okay? So just putting that in perspective, but for the price of a loaded Dodge Ram Rebel, I'm talking sunroof, heated seats, air-conditioned seats, 12-inch beautiful Uconnect touchscreen. For that price, probably around 55, 60 grand, you get like a base Raptor, right? So definitely more value there in the Ram. But the Ram Rebel is great because it has a couple things, right? It's capable off-road. It's extremely capable off-road, probably more capable than what you're gonna put it through. Most of us aren't running the Baja Peninsula doing 100 miles an hour. That's a time you might want a Ford Raptor. But I'll tell you, the last time I raced the Baja Peninsula at 100 miles an hour was never. But let's dive into the review so you can make the decision on your own. Quick shout out though, I want to let you know that Jeff D'Ambrosio Autogroup actually hooked me up with this Dodge Ram. This isn't my Ram, although it might be one day. I might end up buying it. Jeff D'Ambrosio hooked me up with this truck, no questions asked, said, put it on YouTube, review it. He's a great dude. He runs a dealership in Downingtown with him and his son. They have a ton of inventory, so I would highly, highly recommend checking out Jeff D'Ambrosio Autogroup if you're thinking about picking up a car. I will link his information down in the description below. But that's enough of that. All right, let's jump into the Ram. We'll do a quick drive, and let's talk about what it feels like to drive this Ram. So I know what you guys are all thinking now. You're thinking, damn, I don't know, he's gonna make a case against the Ford Raptor. And yeah, I am gonna make a case against the Ford Raptor. I do love the Ford Raptor, but I gotta tell you, there is something really nice about this Ram. So, I've driven a lot of pickup trucks in my life. I've loved pickup trucks my entire life. My dad always had dirt bikes, so we were always hauling dirt bikes back and forth. I did landscaping as a kid, and when I was a young guy, the first thing I wanted was a Dodge Ram. And now they're just Rams. They're no longer Dodge Rams anymore. But I kind of like that. I do think Ram did need to break off because I think the quality in a Ram vehicle compared to kind of the, some of the stigma that you hear, and I think FCA's gotten a lot better recently. FCA definitely has some much cooler cars and higher quality cars than I think they had, in the 2000 range. They've really done a huge overhaul of their inventory. But I do like that Ram broke off. So Ram is now just Ram, no longer Dodge Ram. You guys probably know that. So one thing I'm gonna do here, guys, is I'm not gonna take you through every individual spec of the car. I don't wanna tell you about every single thing that's happening in the car in terms of what's the, how many thousands of pounds can it handle in the bed for payload, how much can it tow, that kind of stuff. I don't know about you, but that's stuff that I look up on the internet. I don't really need help, from somebody on a YouTube video telling me all that stuff. So with that said, I'm gonna tell you more so about how does this car feel when you drive it? Do you like it? Would you like to take it home? Would you like to pick up your girlfriend in it? Would you like to, do you think it would impress your friends? Like that kind of stuff. And I know, impressing your friends is not the most important thing, but when you're spending 50, 60 grand on a car, you want to get a little bit of like wow factor, right? When you pull up, you want people to be like, oh wow, man, nice car. I like that a lot. So let's talk about that a little bit. So if you're buying a pickup truck in the half-ton space, I would say that, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a pickup truck that has like the frills of, borderline luxury SUV, I would say Ram has taken that further than any other brand. Now, that doesn't mean Ram has sacrificed the ruggedness, the durability of the vehicle, the usability of the vehicle, because Ram really hasn't. This truck has all of that as well. And that is what makes the Ram Rebel potentially a Raptor eater. So the Ram Rebel is one of the most comfortable pickup trucks, I would say, in the class. I've driven the F-150, I've driven the Silverado, and I would say the Ram Rebel is pretty good. The Silverado is also pretty good. The F-150, I think the ride is a little bit more taut. But Ram has done a really great job with the suspension in this vehicle. Now, I think the Ram Rebel comes with a little bit of a lift. We have these, I think they are 33-inch Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax tires on here. Honestly, I don't know about you. You probably can't hear much noise on the camera. I'm not getting a lot of feedback noise from the tires on the road. I mean, you can hear them a little bit, but it's certainly not something that is distracting, or I would probably be annoyed by on a long trip. I would say the cabin right now is really fairly quiet. In terms of seating position, it feels a lot like a car. I mean, this is a giant truck, and I'm sitting pretty high, pretty comfortable, and I would say that driving it, I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't have a pickup truck. I mean, I do drive pickup trucks, so I have a decent amount of experience driving pickup trucks, so I don't always get super uncomfortable. But if you were trying to get into a pickup truck for the first time, or so your mom or somebody had to drive your car, or your girlfriend or something like that, and they don't typically drive pickup trucks, I would say this would be a pretty comfortable car for them to drive. It drives a lot like an SUV, and it's something that you definitely notice when you get in it. All right, so let's also talk room in this cabin. This cabin is extremely roomy. Not only is it quiet, but it's super roomy. I mean, if I had 5 friends in here, I think everybody would have room to be, have a little space of their own. I think this would be a great family hauler if you have a big family and you want a nice pickup truck to drive around in. And then on the weekends, maybe you throw your dirt bikes in the back and you go to the mountain. I would say this would be one of the best trucks for that. In terms of, what you're getting, this truck is just amazing in that sense of value. This interior is nicer than some interiors that you see in luxury cars. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. And I would definitely, give Ram a lot of credit for that, because this interior is something that a lot of truck manufacturers aren't willing to do, right? Ram, I respect them for so many things. One of the things I respect them for is the ability to innovate, right? There's a stagnant industry of pickup trucks. Pickup trucks are one of the hottest selling vehicles in America, but a lot of these manufacturers fail to innovate. Ram has gone above and beyond, redesigning the outside of the car and the inside of the car year after year after year, and they are the leader in the pack when it comes to looks and the way their trucks look on the road. Wow, this road is crazy. I mean, I'm on Boot Road in Pennsylvania, and geez Louise, this is like the tightest, windiest road I've ever been on, and I've never driven this truck. And I gotta tell you, I don't feel super uncomfortable. That's a good thing to note. I'm taking this truck through extremely windy, tight roads right now, and I don't feel that uncomfortable. It actually feels okay. So in this truck, you have a couple different options for the powertrain, right? You got the 5.7 Hemi, great motor. I think it's got 390 horsepower or something like that, 400 some pound-feet of torque. That thing is gonna haul whatever the hell you need it to haul. You're probably not hauling more than that motor is going to haul for you. And I hate how in the half-ton lineup, it's always a huge question, which truck can haul the most, which truck has the biggest payload. Honestly, I would bet 90% of their user base who are buying their trucks are not even hauling that much. They're not even putting their trucks probably at 60% of the load capacity, unless you're hauling a really big trailer. And if you do that, that's great. Then you need to look those numbers up. But for most of us that are using it as a luxury SUV that can, like, you know, tow a jet ski or a boat on the weekend, you don't need to worry about all those numbers quite as much as some other people do. So that's something that's really interesting for me. Let me just pull in here. I'm gonna pull in and we're gonna talk about this truck a little bit more. All right, so let's talk motors in this truck. What are the options? What do you got? You got 4 powertrains available. The first powertrain is the tried and true Hemi V8. This is the one I would recommend. This would be the motor that I would totally recommend. Like 390 horsepower or something like that, 410 pound-feet of torque. That should be pretty much enough to haul and tow pretty much anything that you want to haul and tow. I have personally towed pretty large trailers with this motor. It doesn't have a problem. It's mated to this ZF 8-speed transmission, and this is a great transmission. Quick, smooth shifting. Gotta love it. It's a great you know, engine transmission combo in a vehicle. Probably one of the best that I've ever seen. And seriously, the transmission shifts like butter. It is like one of the smoothest shifting transmissions in a truck that you'll ever feel. It has this little dial here, but honestly, you get used to it. Like anything else, you get used to the dial. It's not a big deal. So yeah, so you have the Hemi V8, you have the 3-liter Eco Diesel. You have the e-torque engine available in conjunction with the Hemi V8, and that'll up your torque like 100 foot-pounds or something like that. Might give you a little extra boost if you're towing a large trailer and you want that extra torque off the line. Then you also have the Pentastar motor available as well. The 6-cylinder Pentastar is a tried and true motor. That thing is freaking bulletproof. People have seen it in Jeeps for years. It's a great motor. But in this truck, I would say it's probably a little underpowered. It feels a little underpowered even in the Jeeps. It's not a very powerful engine, although it is reliable and does have, you know, decent torque numbers. So yeah, so those are the 4 engine options in this truck. I would recommend the V8 because who doesn't love the sound of a V8? All right, so now let's talk. Now let's go test this Hemi out, guys. I want to see what this Hemi can do. We're driving off-road right now. This truck is a beast. It feels great. I don't even notice these rocks that I'm driving on. I can feel the power waiting in this Hemi. This transmission is always ready to shift for you. Yeah, that Hemi feels good. Definitely has a good sound. It's definitely always there for you. Gotta love it. There's nothing wrong with the Hemi. The Hemi is, you know, one of the best motors that that we've seen out here in pickup trucks in quite a while. All right, so let's also talk drivability, right? How does it feel? How does it drive? Would I want to drive this? Would my girlfriend want to drive it? Would my wife want to drive it? You know, things like that. Is it something that's comfortable to drive? I would say 100% absolutely. This truck is very comfortable to drive. I'd say Chrysler has done a great job. The cabin is whisper quiet. I really don't think we're gonna have any issues with noise in this video. When I pull the audio, I think it's gonna be rock solid. Even when I'm going over these bumps, this truck's eating them up. It feels pretty compliant, and you gotta love that. In terms of off-road capabilities, so what does this truck have? What are some of the you know, the upgrades that you get in the Rebel package? Well, the biggest thing I would say, yeah, you get a lift, you get Goodyear Wrangler tires, all that stuff. I won't go into all the detail there. Not super important. It is very, very capable. The biggest thing you get though is this electronically locking rear diff. So anytime that you're stuck outside, you know, in the mud, and your rear, one of your rear wheels is slipping, say you're lifted up on a rock, whatever it might be, this truck is going to give you the ability to lock the rear axle up at any time and pretty much pull you out of most situations that you're going to find yourself in. All right, so let's cover room real quick, right? Thinking about getting a Rebel, you probably got some stuff you want to put in the back if you go off-road, if you go dirt biking, whatever it might be. Let's check out this back seat. That's pretty damn big. Let me see if I can fit in here. I'm only about 6'2", and you know, I got a lot of room here. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not 6'2". I'm like 5'9" on a good day. So I got plenty of room back here naturally. Your kids, you know, anybody else would probably have plenty of room back here. But honestly, I'm 5'9", and I got, you know, multiple inches here. I mean, if I was 6 foot, I think I would have plenty of room back here. I don't think I'd have any issues. Ram has done a really great job making this back seat feel amazing. I mean, this back seat, all the materials are super nice. I love, you know, you got this like nice, basically leather feeling material. I don't know if it's actually leather, but it feels really great. It looks really high quality, smells good. We got the black headliner, which you gotta love. All the touch points in this truck, super high quality. Definitely the best interior in the half-ton pickup truck class, hands down. So if you're getting this truck to be something like that, where you want to have it double as your daily driver, but you also want to, you know, get out on the weekends and get on the trail, get a jet ski, you know, tow a jet ski on the back, throw dirt bikes in the back, throw four-wheelers in the back and go off the road a little bit, this is a great truck for you. I mean, this truck off the line from the factory, you can drive off-road, you can do pretty much everything you want to do with. Super roomy and comfortable in the cabin, and you got a ton of space back there in the bed. Cool, now that we checked out the back, let's also jump in the bed, right? You want to know how much room you got in the bed. Can you fit stuff in the bed? This one doesn't have the Ram boxes on the side, so the tailgate is actually going to hold probably a little bit more because we don't have the Ram boxes. Ram boxes are pretty cool. If you want to get a Ram box, you can store a lot of stuff in there. But yeah, let's hop up in the bed. Look at that. A soft damper bed, you gotta love that. It's freaking sweet. I mean, you can't beat that. So let me jump up in here and see how it is. Try to do this with my camera. Oof, got my leg way up there. All that yoga's been paying off. Cool, yeah, so this bed is definitely, we got the spray-in bed liner. Highly recommended if you're gonna get a truck. Don't get a truck without a spray-in bed liner. You're gonna ding up your bed. You're not gonna like it. Get the bed liner. But yeah, I mean, this bed is pretty big. It's definitely pretty wide without the Ram boxes in there. And I would say that you could fit pretty much anything. You could easily fit 2 dirt bikes side by side in here. You got these hooks for anything you want to link up in there. If you have tie straps you want to throw in there to keep your dirt bikes or four-wheelers or anything that you're hauling tied down, you can do that. Let me hop down off here. I know some of these Rams guys have those dual opening tailgates. That might be cool too, but this is the one that just has the regular tailgate. I do like the traditional tailgate. You do have the dual exhaust tips back here. Gotta love those with the Hemi. This has a trailer hitch and it has a spare tire, which is awesome. And let's see if it is the Goodyear. It's not one of the Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax tires, I don't think, but it looks like a decent tire. It didn't look like it was, you know, anything like a chump change tire. So one thing that I think is worth noting here, guys, is just kind of in terms of usability for the truck. I've been using the truck all day, right? I'm trying to film a YouTube review for you guys. And it's important to note, like, how has this truck been for me to like make this truck my workspace for the day, right? So this truck has been my workspace for, you know, the latter half of the day. And I'm setting up all my camera gear. I have my camera bag back here. And I gotta tell you, like, I have a ton of room to move around in this truck. So if you do business in your truck, if you're like doing landscaping and you're writing up invoices in your truck or something like that, it's a great truck to do that in. You got plenty of room. Another thing to point out is that the back seats fold up super easy. They're like a flip down system that, like, you don't even have to pull a lever. You can just push them up and they click into place. Gotta love that too. If you're walking out of Lowe's or something and you got a bunch of wood in your hand and you want to like throw your wood in the back of the truck pretty quickly, you know, maybe your bed's full because you're towing something or because you're hauling something, you know, it's a great system. You just walk up to the truck, flip the seats up and throw your crap in. Gotta love that. So this truck does have Apple CarPlay. It took me 2 seconds just now to link up to it, which you gotta love. In 2020, when I get into a car, if I can't hook my phone up to it in less than a minute, it's taking too long, okay? All right, so I got my phone plugged in here. This does have it doesn't have the massive, in the interior of this truck, it doesn't have the massive 12-inch Uconnect. I do like the 12-inch Uconnect, but this Uconnect system here is the 8.4-inch, I think, and it's still beautiful. And I really I think that, you know, that's enough screen in a vehicle. I don't think we need much more screen than that, but I do like the 12-inch Uconnect. It's not a problem, but I do like having dials here. You have your AC dials still, you have your heated seats, all that stuff, your heated steering wheel, which is really nice in the winter in the north. You know, your tow haul buttons, your traction control, your trailer brake. You also have this dial here, which is your gear shifter. Switch between 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive low. You can put it in the neutral, 4-wheel drive high. You have hill descent control, and you also have your axle locker. This is your rear axle locker that will be a complete lifesaver if you're off-road and you ever have a sticky situation that you have to get out of. But all right, so this is the Uconnect system. This is not even the top trim, and let's hear how it sounds. Good, man. This is like the basic sound system, and that sounded great. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have any issues riding around listening to that every day. The bass is pretty good. The crispness is pretty good. I mean, sure, it's not the Harman Kardon sound system. It's just, you know, an FCA sound system, but they've done a good job. There's nothing wrong with the sound system. You'll be fine. I wouldn't even worry about, you know, upgrading unless you have the cash and you really want to, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. One thing that this one doesn't have is the giant panoramic sunroof. I do love that panoramic sunroof. The panoramic sunroof in these vehicles is one of the coolest panoramic roofs out there. It goes back from the front seat all the way to like the rear of the back seat. You've probably seen it. Lets in a ton of sunlight, and if you open that thing up, man, it's almost like having a Jeep. It's like the top's off, you know, because most of the roof just opens right up. So you gotta love that. This one doesn't have it, but you know, hopefully the next car that I review will have it. Let's also go into interior usability, right? Interior usability in this truck, like I mentioned earlier, there's a ton of room, but let's just take a look down here at the actual the center console. The center console is huge. You got 2 compartments. If you've watched any reviews, you already know that. You got a ton of USB ports everywhere. You got USB ports up here. You got this sliding piece here. You got, you know, your regular power 12 volt power adapter, so you can actually plug in like just regular stuff. This is a spot to put your phone even when it's charging. I mean, FCA, like, good job. You're also probably wondering, wow, he's got a giant roll of duct tape. What is that giant roll of duct tape for? Well, let me tell you, my friends, when you are an amateur YouTuber and you're filming stuff, you gotta hold your camera down somehow. So what do? I get duct tape. Duct tape fixes everything. All right, so let's also talk about the off-roadability of this truck, right? This class of truck is known as kind of the off-road half-ton category. You know, you have the Ford Raptor at the top, crazy, you know, off-road capability. Then you have like the Ram Rebel, the Silverado Trail Boss, the TRD Pro Toyotas, and then below that, you know, you have like maybe the FX4 from Ford and a couple others. But really, this class of off-road truck that's like just beneath the Ford Raptor class, where Ram is actually going to compete soon with, I think it's like TRX or something like that, which I don't really like the name of, but I think that's coming. This truck fits there, so it is supposed to be an off-road truck. And what does that mean? Like, how capable is it? So, you know, on YouTube, shout out to those guys at the Fast Lane Truck. They do a lot of good reviews. If you want to see this thing like do rock crawling or something like that, or you want to see how it performs in Moab or, you know, out there in Colorado on some of the tougher terrain, check out the Fast Lane Truck. And when you see it, you'll realize that this truck is going to be far more capable than you need it to be. It's everything you need, right? It's got the Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax tires. They're, I think, 33-inch, which should be plenty. And this thing can take on 20-30 inches of mud in the middle of the woods if you really need it to. You're probably not going to find yourself in that situation because, again, most of us don't buy a $60,000 truck and then take it on hardcore off-roading, because that would stress me out, man. I don't want to mess up my $60,000 truck. These trucks are gorgeous. They're very luxury. But it's cool that it has the ability to do that if you did want to do that, or if you did go to like a camping site that was pretty hard to get to, or you wanted to drive up some like steep ravine to snowboard or dirt bike or something like that. Like, this truck fits that niche pretty well. And that electronic rear locking differential is a huge, the axle locker in the back is a huge benefit to helping you with that. The Silverado Trail Boss, the Chevy Silverado Trail Boss, does not actually have that that locking rear axle. It has a system that automatically electronically kicks in. It's like basically like more or less a limited slip that locks up the rear diff. From what I've seen in videos, it works pretty well, but it is nice to be able to have the ability to manually lock that rear diff. So in terms of off-roadability, I would say this thing is really impressive off-road. It's going to be surprisingly capable in an off-road setting. You know, going up against the TRD Pro Tundra and the Silverado Trail Boss, I would either pick this or the Tundra. And I would tell you why I'll pick this in terms of buying it. I would buy this for the interior. The Tundra, again, you guys know the interior is kind of lacking. And now Ram is sitting here on a high horse in the corner with a beautiful interior, and everybody else is going to compete, which is good news for you and me. The real question that's worth answering here is, would you buy this truck? You know, I totally understand the question. It's a fair question. And is this truck a Raptor eater? So I would say that, yeah, man, this truck is killer. In terms of how it compares to if you're buying a Ford Raptor, I would say it totally depends. What are you going to do with your truck? I'd say 90% of us are not going to use the functionality of a Ford Raptor. I love the Raptor. I mean, if Ford reached out to me tomorrow and said, do you want a free Raptor? I'd say, yeah. If you're listening, Ford. But anyway, the Raptor's awesome. But look, a Raptor is expensive, and not a lot of us, you know, can spend that amount of money. Spending $55,000 on a truck is already a lot for most of us. So if you're going to spend that money, you want to get a lot of bang for your buck, right? You want to have a gorgeous truck. I would say that, you know, I've asked many friends, family, which truck is the best looking truck on the road. I've showed them pictures just because I'm thinking about buying one. My girlfriend and my mom have both agreed that this is the nicest looking truck on the road. I trust their opinion when it comes to style. They have good taste. But this is a luxury SUV that doubles as a truck, right? This thing is gorgeous on the interior, but it also has the ruggedness of a truck, and it can take you off-road where you want to go. So I would argue that in terms of it beating the Raptor, it beats the Raptor on that in terms of value. Definitely something to consider. The other thing to consider is reliability. All motor. This truck is all motor. If you get the V8 Hemi, I would recommend the V8 Hemi. It's a great motor. It has been a great motor for a long time. You can't beat the V8 Hemi out there. I mean, I shouldn't say you can't beat. There are motors that are good, but in terms of Chrysler and the Ram, you know the V8 Hemi and the Ram is a good motor. It also particularly depends on how you're going to use that motor, right? If you're going to use that motor to haul, it might not last as long because you're beating on it a lot. You're putting a lot of pressure under the, putting the drivetrain under a lot of pressure. When it comes to if you're going to drive it around town and make it that luxury SUV and tow light things and haul light things, this thing's probably going to last a long time for you. So that's something to consider. And I know the twin turbo 6-cylinder EcoBoost motor in the Ford Raptor is pretty attractive because it's fast, but you gotta keep in mind that thing it's got 2 turbos on it. It's probably gonna have issues at some point, and they're probably not gonna be cheap to fix. So just something to keep in mind. And if you're thinking about buying this truck, I would say, yeah, absolutely, definitely consider buying this truck. I would compare it to maybe the F-150 FX4 package and the Silverado Trail Boss. The Tundra is an awesome truck. I hear people talk about the Tundra a lot. I'm gonna review all these trucks on this channel, by the way. But I hear people talk about the Tundra a lot, and it's a beautiful truck, and I love that they redesigned it, and the suspension's awesome. They have the dual, the double bypass Fox shocks, I think, on the Tundra, and that engine in it has been around. That V8 has been around for, forever, and we know it's super reliable. But when it comes to the interior, Toyota, I mean, damn, get it together. Get the interior together, man. Look at this. You're competing against this. But I will say that if Toyota steps up and fixes the interior, there's going to be some competition out there, and that's what I love. That's what I love about this. There's competition in the industry. That is what drives innovation, is competition, and Ram is stepping up the competition. So if you like competition and you like to be an innovator and you like trucks that have good motors, I would probably buy a Ram, and I'll keep you guys posted. Cool, guys. Well, hey, I really appreciate you tuning in. Again, my name is John Monroe. I'm doing truck reviews across the tri-state area. I'm going to do a lot of work with Jeff D'Ambrosio. He's going to allow me to review a lot of his cars on the lot. I would really, really appreciate you subscribing, showing love to my channel. It would mean a lot, and it would also help me carve out more time to make these videos for you guys, because the more views, the more viewership and subscribers that I have, the more credibility it gives me to go into these dealerships and try to make these videos for you. And again, lastly, big shout out to Jeff D'Ambrosio. His information's linked down below in the description. If you're looking for a new vehicle, whether it's a Jeep, whether it's a Ram, whatever it might be, a Dodge Charger, Challenger, whatever you're looking at, I would definitely check out Jeff in Downingtown. He's got a ton of inventory, and inventory is hard to come by right now in the midst of COVID. So thank you, appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.